So we created this image, which I think for all of you is a really important one to think about. This is Alexander who's cutting his hay there. And what Douglas and I were trying to represent, there were over 100 pesticides that were being used in apple orchards and vineyards. And so we took as many as we could squeeze into this image, and we just put them all out there. Because there are cases in which a farmer will use between 25 and 35 different pesticides in one given orchard, one given vineyard throughout the course of a single year. And what I'd like to say is that I think we hear about IPM, integrated pest management. There has been an attempt to reduce the resistance that tends to build up among insects and fungal diseases by virtue of spraying a lot of different things. But what we've done in the process is we've created this incredible cocktail, which, first of all, we don't even know what the individual pesticides are doing. Secondly, we don't know what the adjuvants are that are added to the pesticides. And thirdly, we sure as heck don't know what's going on in terms of the mixture of all these different elements. And so these are called the combinative effects of pesticides. And there are different kinds of interactions that can happen as these pesticides get mixed in among one another. One is it can be additive. Another is that things build on top of each other. Another is that you get a synergistic effect, that the two chemicals together actually start to do things that you never expected or certainly weren't intended. And the other is that they can actually be antagonistic, so that they're actually working against each other and creating some things, some scenarios that are fairly dangerous. So what's amazing to me and just astounding about the pesticide industry is we have the pesticides, that is the active ingredients themselves, and then those are regulated to some degree, but then you have basically the solutions or the additives that are there, the adjuvants that are there with them, often keeping them in suspension, for which there is no regulation. And in many cases, if you pick up a pesticide container, you look, the active ingredient will be between 1% and 5%. The rest of it is 95%, which in most cases is considered a trade secret. And if you have an issue where you have the toxicity issue, you call the Poison Control Center, then they may not have access to that trade secret. So it's not only the pesticides and the active ingredients, it's also these adjuvants, which now have, we've started to see different things pop up in those adjuvants that are actually, some scientists think are more dangerous than the active ingredients themselves. So this is what we're dealing with. This is just incredible cocktail. And in this case, we picked up on a saying that was used by one of the researchers here in the US, where he talks about the molecular bull in a china shop. And in this case, the Germans use elephant instead of bull. But it's just this molecular bull that's there. We don't even know what those bulls are in many cases as they're running around interacting with one another.